Hello everyone. So yes, it is time to go through the updates, recent updates from the Atlassian ecosystem. Now this week we have some nice interesting updates, and we will of course go through those updates one by one. But in case you want to get these updates by email, you can subscribe to our newsletter. We have a newsletter where you can simply just get these emails every week with all the updates. And especially with all these changes happening in the Atlassian ecosystem, I think it is very important to stay up to date with these updates, new things happening with the Atlassian ecosystem. All right, the first update is about some changes in the Jira REST API. And this change is important because we, of course, have different tools integrated with Jira. And whenever we have any integration with Jira, it is mostly, or in almost all the cases, the other tool is trying to search or fetch some data from Jira. And that data is usually issues, right? Now, when it comes to these issues, you can, of course, fetch an issue directly if you know the issue key, but usually you need to use the JQL and you need to perform the search. Now, if you go through this this post, I think in this page or in this post on the developer community, you will find the changes and some details. So I can see here that it is mostly related to the search, and the endpoint is actually here search, and you need to definitely go through it, especially if you have built any integration, if you have any existing tool or a script fetching data from Jira. So this is important, and I thought I'll probably highlight this and talk about it separately. Of course, when you go through these links, you will have the opportunity to learn about these changes, but don't wait for the integration to fail. I know this is actually an approach. Sometimes people just wait for the very last minute, and to be honest, it's not really unusual when we have different tools talking to Jira. It is, I mean, usually Jira APIs don't really change a lot, but when they do, you are always given some time, and these endpoints will continue to work for the next couple of years, I believe. It says here the new endpoint, the Jira Search REST API endpoint, or these APIs will be deprecated in 2027. So we have time, but I know it is not easy to always change these endpoints, because these endpoints are stored somewhere in your code, and you have to go through your change management process. And I know we have 2 years or maybe 1.5 years, but it is still not always enough. So I believe you should definitely act now. Maybe reach out to your Jira admins, reach out to your existing tool admins, or people who actually own those automations, your developers, and start going through these changes and make a plan for updating your existing code. So I thought I'll talk about it because this is important. This is really important. The next update is a bit similar. Now, Jira, of course, we are talking about Jira, but we also have Bitbucket. On Bitbucket, there was an announcement sometime in the past. It was about deprecation of app passwords. Now, app passwords, of course, people are using these app passwords for a long time. So Atlassian has made a plan, I believe like a 2-year plan, something like that, maybe 3-year plan, and they are doing it in phases. Now, we are in phase 2, And when we talk about the phase two, in phase two, the existing app passwords will remain, but you will not be able to create a new app password. So you need to now create API tokens with scopes, and whenever you're trying to create, I believe, an app password, the interface on Bitbucket Cloud will direct you to create API token instead. So this is something that you need to be aware of. So this is of course about app passwords. Like, you will not be able to create new app passwords, but if you have existing app passwords, then those app passwords will continue to work until I believe June 9th, 2026. So this is something that you need to know. Now, I think in June next year, 9th of June next year, 2026, phase 3 will start, and then Atlassian will permanently disable all the old app passwords. So I think you just have 1 year, or not even 1 year, I think 8 months, right? Something like that, to maybe 9 months to be precise. No, 8 months, because we are talking about June 9th. So we don't have a lot of time. So act now. Let your Jira admins know. Let your CI/CD folks know, and start shouting about it. I think if you're a Jira admin, you should just announce as soon as possible, and then you're safe. I mean, of course, you're not always safe, but at least you should not give your users opportunity to complain that your Jira admins are not doing their work. So just take action, because I know you have to. Okay, so moving on, let us talk about Jira Align now. Now, Jira Align is getting a lot of love from Atlassian, just like Trello. Recently, we have seen a lot of updates on Trello. Now there are a lot of updates or new improvements to the roadmaps, which I believe we covered in one of the update session in the past. I think there were new features like inline date editing, suggested date modes, and progress tracking, global rank sorting, and there are some other performance improvements, changes to the way you can look at your items in the roadmap. So these updates are now, I believe, available for everyone, and you can definitely start using it. So if you're using Jira Align, I know some of you are using Jira Align, you can start using, I believe, these features. And it is always good to know that there are improvements done to these tools, especially on the roadmap. Roadmap is very, irrespective of the tool, when you're talking about Jira, when you're talking about project roadmaps, when we talk about advanced roadmaps are always useful. People want to use roadmaps. They want to do wonderful things with the roadmaps. They want to do planning, but it is not always easy. To be honest, project management is not really about creating a Gantt chart, right? It is much more than that, but still, people expect these tools to have a roadmap. So I'm happy to see these updates in Jira Align. Okay, so the next update is about this report, 2026 State of Product Report. This product report, I believe, is an annual report. I remember looking at this report last year as well. And I think this report can be useful, especially if you are, may not be always for Jira admins, but if you are someone who is making decisions, right? As a Jira admin, you are responsible to ensure that your Jira is up and running. But of course, you should definitely take a look at these things happening in other organizations, like overall. And Atlassian, I believe, has done some work, research, and they have shared their outcome of this research based on how other companies are using Atlassian tools. So this report is something that you can download. You need to use your official ID, so not really your personal ID, which is fine. But take a look. You might learn something. You will see points like 84% of PMs fear their products will fail. 80% of the product teams don't collaborate with engineers early. So, okay, so let us talk about the first point. So PM fear their products will fail. I mean, I would love to see how this is related to Jira or Jira Product Discovery or any tool, to be honest. Do you think using good tooling will give them a bit more confidence? Definitely yes, I think, but it is basically part of, like, it's a small thing, right? Tooling is basically not really the key deciding factor always. I mean, in some cases it can be. 80% of the product teams don't collaborate with engineers early. So I think collaboration is fine, but I'm wondering what is the meaning of this early? Like early, like when? Like when you're on the requirement gathering phase, when you are like starting to plan. So I think this report might give you some ideas, especially if you're doing a lot of consulting, talking to clients, talking to people, and especially if you're talking to program managers. I think this report can give you some insights, I believe. Okay, so let us move on to the upcoming event, which is happening in a couple of days from now. I know it is a bit late, but it is an in-person event about Loom. Loom, of course, is getting very popular nowadays, and there are a lot of integrations with Jira. I think recently we noticed Loom and automation rules, so you can actually use Loom in your automation rules, and I think there were some use cases. So interesting, right? Because when it comes to, let us say, sharing some updates, I think using a tool where you can just share a video and also use that video to collaborate with others. So I think this session, I know it's not virtual, so you need to be in Trivandrum, and you need to basically, I mean, if you're around that area, I definitely recommend you to go and take a look, and you will definitely learn something. So unfortunately, I'm not near Trivandrum right now, but I would love to see more use cases of Loom. Okay, so let us move on to the next update, which is about this blog post and also a video. We recently wrote this blog post talking about common Jira integrations, like using Jira with Slack, using Jira with GitHub, using Jira with Confluence. So if you're someone who is trying to figure out how Jira can be used with other tools, in this video and also this post, I basically covered like the most common integrations. And I'm making this video for, usually when I make videos, like majority of my audience base is basically Jira admins, people who want to do something with Jira. Their career is dependent on Jira. So if you want to become a really good Jira admin, then you can't really just not know about these common integrations, right? Of course, apart from Jira, you need to know about how these other tools work and how these other tools can work with Jira. But also at the same time, when I make videos, I make videos for companies, organizations who are trying to get the most out of Jira, and of course other Atlassian tools. So in case you're wondering, or maybe you have no idea if Jira can also be used with these other tools to collaborate effectively with other teams. For example, we were talking about collaboration between developers and maybe your marketing team, right? So of course Jira can be used, but if you have, let us say, your Slack, right? I've seen a lot of wonderful use cases where you can do things from Jira to Slack and Slack to Jira, right? So that is all possible nowadays, and it is not at all difficult. So in this post, you will probably get some idea. Okay, so the last update is about this video, which is about service accounts. Now, recently, we got this new feature in Jira where you can actually now create service accounts and only service accounts. So I'm glad, because service accounts were always not easy to manage, because these service accounts are nothing but, or were nothing but just another user. So there had to be like someone owning that service account. But now you can basically just create service account, and it is basically just within your Jira instance owned by the Jira team, and you can manage their you can manage the authentication of those service accounts. In this video, I shared how to create an API token and also OAuth token. So it's very simple, nothing too difficult, no rocket science. It's all straightforward. You just need to know that it is now possible, and I covered that in this video. So do take a look at this video, and hopefully you will be able to use service accounts really soon. And yeah, that is it. I know, short, concise video. If you are new to this channel, please also consider subscribing to Ravi Sagar channel, my other channel where I talk about Jira. And apart from this video, we also have a podcast. The podcast goes on YouTube, but we are also on Spotify. So in case you just want to listen to these updates, you can. And that is it. That is all I wanted to talk about and share in this session, in this weekly Atlassian update session. All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.